Hi everybody and welcome back to the Big Oggie Bakehouse. If you happen to be new here, then do click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can keep an eye on what we're doing. We're not particularly regular, but when we do good things, hopefully anyway. Today we are making a boiled fruit cake. Now this recipe has been done before on our previous channel, but several of you have asked for it to be redone. And we don't have the old video, so we're going to have to do a new one. And to be quite honest, I need to do a new one anyway, because I fully intended this year to make a proper Christmas cake with all the individual fruits and everything, and then ran out of time. So this fruit cake is a boiled fruit cake. It's a rich, dark fruit cake, and it's absolutely perfect instead of Christmas cake. You would never know the difference. So it's quick to start with. We need to wait for the ingredients to cool down, so we can't bake it straight away, so it will take you sort of probably most of a day, but the actual first bit is only probably 15-20 minutes long, if that. So we'll start off with the ingredients. To start with, you're going to take 500 grams of dried mixed fruit. I really like the Whitworth's luxury mixed fruit because it doesn't have peel in it. Then we are going to need 125 mils of water, 220 grams of firmly packed brown sugar. Doesn't really matter if it's firmly packed, it just needs 220 grams. 125 grams of butter, and we're going to chop that up in a minute. A teaspoon of mixed spice, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, 125 grams of sweet sherry. To be fair, any sherry works. We use this one, but Harvest Bristol Cream we prefer.
Well, we come from Bristol, but
we didn't have any.
We didn't have any, so we've got this.
This is what we're using today.
Just a sweet one. Okay.
Then you're going to need an egg, and then 150 grams of plain flour, 150 grams of self-raising flour. You can add almonds if you like them. We don't, so we don't add them. And you're going to need another 2 tablespoons of sherry at the end once you've cooked your cake, so that you can sort of like glaze it with the sherry if you like.
We'll kind of feed it a bit, really.
Yeah. Then that's what I was going to say. If you want, you can not ice it straight away. You actually don't need to ice it at all. You can make it like a Dundee type cake if you want. But you can carry on feeding this then. We've got, what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks yesterday to Christmas Day. So you can feed it every few days up towards Christmas and then decorate it right at the last minute if you want. Or like I said, make it into a Dundee cake with all fruit and things on the top, and then just keep feeding it your sherry or whatever you want really, I guess. So we're going to get going. And the first thing I'm going to do is chop the butter and put it in my pan. So what we do is we add the butter to our pan, then we add the sugar and the fruit, and then the bicarb and the spice, excuse me, and the water. And we put all of those ingredients into our pan and slowly bring them to the boil so that the sugar and the butter melts and goes all foamy, which you will see. Once you've boiled your mixture, you put the lid on, turn it down and simmer for 5 minutes. Give it an occasional stir, otherwise it will catch at the bottom. And this is what it should look like. You leave that for 5 minutes and then you turn off the heat. You take your sherry, Happy Christmas, and in it goes. And you'll hear a slight sizzle. Then we stir it in. And that is stage 1 complete. We now need to leave this in the pan to cool to room temperature. So that's going to take a few hours because hot sugar is very hot. So we'll come back a bit later. So our ingredients are nice and cool now, and all we need to do is add the 2 lots of flour, so plain flour and self-raising, and then the egg. And when you've got it in, you just give it all a good stir with a wooden spoon until all the flour is incorporated and obviously all your egg is too. Then you need to grease and line, although I only ever line the bottom of a cake tin, you need an 8-inch deep spring form cake tin, or that's 20 centimetres.
I think that's why we don't actually line the edges, because we've got a spring tin, but
Yeah.
if you don't have one,
then it's probably a good idea too. But if you butter it well, it should be fine anyway. But I always put a little bit of greaseproof in the bottom. So 8-inch, 20 centimetre deep cake tin, and you need to heat your oven to 160 or 140 if it's a fan oven. You basically put it into your cake tin, you flatten it all out nicely, and then into the oven. You're going to bake it for 1.5 hours. And then when it comes out, check with a sharp knife or a skewer. If your knife comes out clean, it's perfect. So our cake has now been baked and it's here on our cake board. There we go. It smells wonderful, and all I'm going to do now is to feed it a bit with some more sherry. So you just literally brush the sherry over. Don't worry if it looks a bit wet, it will sink in and it will be gorgeous. There we go. Now we've still just over a week and a half to Christmas, so I'm going to wrap our cake in tin foil and feed it maybe once or twice more before Christmas Day. Obviously if you want to marzipan and ice it, then I would leave it a good 2 days before you marzipan and ice if you are feeding it. Otherwise you might get a bit of slippage with the marzipan. We probably won't ice ours at all, and that's it. That's our boiled fruit cake. I hope you all enjoy it. Bye for now.